What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and I do have a new song out recently called Don't Forget About Me, the Supernova version, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, I have not talked about wild season permit purchases in a bit, but I do have some good news. So over the course of the last couple of seasons, we've actually seen an uptick since the, I guess we'll call it the low point, the recent low point for the season that started at the beginning of April, right, or March 31st to be specific. In that season, we only had 1,877 wild purchases, which was a 6% drop from the previous season, right? And you can see it's just been dropping significantly since this whole thing was introduced last year. But in the season that followed, the one that started mid-April, we went back up. We actually increased by about 41 purchases, 2.2% from that, about 1,918. And so far this season, right, and I'm counting this season, the one that began at the end of April, April 30th, we're back again over 1,900. Now, we're about 15 lower than we were before, but we are higher than we were back in the end of March, right? And we'll just call it season number 20. And again, this is not the official seasons. These are just the seasons since I've been tracking it. So on the whole, we've seen wild purchases tick back up just a little bit. And what's interesting is that I just pulled this data today, and there was actually a recent uptick in the amount of wild season purchases, just I think simply due to the fact that Modern and Wild switched over and people wanted to come in and see what Wild was like. Even though it was 2,000 DEC, there's only a couple days left in the season, we saw those purchases come in. Now, I will say, because I don't know if I did a video back then to kind of discuss why this season went up, right, the one starting in mid-April, but my guess, and I would think quite strongly about this, is the simple fact that SPS started to go up. And if you look at where SPS was at like 0.006, going all the way up to 1.4 cents, it's not quite a 3x, but like a 2.5x. If you're just looking at like the total returns in terms of SPS, it became profitable for many alt accounts, right? For maybe many automated accounts that are secondary accounts that people have to probably, launch those up, start earning again, cover your wild season pass, earn some glint, and all that fun stuff. And just simply like Conclave Arcana was coming out. I think people are getting back into the game slowly and steadily, and so some of these alt accounts are starting to, even if they're not profitable just yet, they are starting to work up towards building their reward card collection, right? And building up glint and all these other types of things. So I don't know where we're going to end the season. I know I recorded this a day early, but again, to me, it's interesting that we're within striking distance. I don't know how many more purchases are going to happen in the next 24 hours. In fact, I highly doubt it's going to be anything significant, but what I will close out the video on is the reminder that next season we will not have a wild season pass, right? I mean, or the fee for the wild season pass, 2,000 DEC, will be waived for this first season of Conclave Arcana being live, right? So for all the folks who have, mainly Chaos Legion cards like myself that will be pushed to wild and maybe haven't come to wild just yet, I don't know what that's going to look like. My expectation is that the number could actually rise slightly higher, especially if SPS stays above a penny. It's still at like 1.1 cents right now, between 1.1 and 1.2 cents. And if the general market sentiment continues to improve, right, Bitcoin's at like 103, 104, and ETH kind of pumped. ETH and alts are pumping decently right now. So if that narrative and if that sentiment can continue, we may see a reversal in this finally, right? Because it's been a downtrend ever since this was launched in September of last year, I think, or August of last year. Sorry, June of last year. So what ended up happening is it was in June of last year, but we were including vouchers, and then it was in September that we had the massive drop off, or the end of August, I should say, or beginning of September, that we had the massive drop off because vouchers were no longer included, which those were at a major discount at that time, and it switched to DEC only. And then even since then, right, this was like 2,600 back then. We dropped like 800 accounts, maybe 700 accounts or so in that time frame. So on the whole, I am excited to see where things go from here. We are not going to get a season worth of data. I don't know if they're going to show like. Well, okay. I don't know if they're going to show how many have been purchased. Well, no, it won't show anything there because everything's waived. So we will take the next season off in terms of like analysis for this, and we'll come back in the one that begins at the end of April or early May. I'm sorry, at the end of May or early June, and hopefully at that point we'll see what sentiment looks like, and hopefully it'll be a little bit improved as we head into the summertime. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Just want to share with you a little bit of an update on these wild season permit purchases. So far, so good over the last, we'll call it 30 days or so. But, you know, exciting times ahead. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That's all I got for you in this video. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.